Before we begin, don't forget to hit subscribe to stay tuned for more dramatic reveals and behind-the-scenes stories. In the hush of the studio's late hours, lights dimmed and cameras paused as the moment everyone had been waiting for arrived. Cho Eun-woo finally revealed Moon Ko-young as his girlfriend, not Kim Do-yeon, and the world shifted in a heartbeat. The hush wasn't just a pause, it was collective breath held across screens, phones and headlines. When the announcement came, it felt like the softest thunder, gentle, sure, and inevitable. The stage was set not for a scandal, but for truth, and in that truth was warmth, light, a story rewriting itself. In the softly lit room, with monitors humming in silence, Cho Eun-woo stood. His gaze steady. Moon Ko-young beside him, a gentle smile lighting her face. Kim Do-yeon watched from the sidelines, not with bitterness, but with understanding, and the audience across the digital divide leaned forward. The relationship had never been secret, perhaps, but it had also never been publicly declared. And so the moment of revelation glowed brighter for its subtlety, for the certainty in his voice when he spoke her name. "This is Moon Ko-young." 4 words, and the quiet world shifted. The cameras clicked, flashes flickered like celestial fireflies, and in that moment the narrative changed. No longer just 2 celebrities sharing a red carpet side by side, no rumor and whisper, now affirmation. Moon Ko-young's hand found Cho Eun-woo's, a gesture maybe small but monumental. Because in the world of lights and lenses, choice speaks louder than photos, and commitment louder than captions. Their faces lit with something real, recognition, relief, pride. When they first met, backstage at a variety show filled with laughter and chaos, their connection was unnoticed by many, but not by them. Moon Ko-young laughed at Cho Eun-woo's impromptu joke, and he noticed. Not in the sense of celebrity noticing celebrity, but 2 people recognizing another. From that night on, their lives began to overlap, schedule meetings, coffee breaks between takes, shared glances that said more than words, rehearsals that ended in conversation rather than departure. It was steady, quiet, and underestimated. Until the day of revelation. The world assumed Kim Do-yeon was the one, why not? They had starred together in commercials, variety segments, the chemistry undeniable in cut takes and promos. Speculation swirled around tabloids, fan forums and magazine covers. The public narrative was convenient, 2 popular stars, shifting energies, possibility. But convenience does not equal truth, and in truth, the heart charts its own course outside assumptions. So when Cho Eun-woo and Moon Ko-young stepped forward, they did so with a calm clarity. Not a dramatic over-the-top declaration, but a simple statement, we belong together. The cameras caught it, the internet echoed it, but behind the scenes the simplest details shone. How she tucked a stray lock of his hair behind his ear after a long shoot, how he brought her favorite pastry to the set, how she cheered the loudest when he won an award. These small acts built a foundation stronger than any headline. The interplay of public and private lives can be messy. Rumors had painted Kim Do-yeon and Cho Eun-woo in dreamy tones, but often those stories lack depth, the sense of someone waking and thinking, I want to share my tomorrow with you. With Moon Ko-young there was that sense. In the early hours after filming, when the crew had already packed away lights and cables, Cho Eun-woo and Moon Ko-young sat in his dressing room. She asked about his day, he asked about her dreams. And they laughed at some inside joke that no one else captured. Those nights didn't make the headlines, but they made the relationship. Public reaction was immediate and varied. Some fans who had supported Kim Do-yeon with hope felt surprise, even disappointment. Others celebrated the honesty, the clarity of choosing a partner and making it known. Moon Ko-young found herself at the center of attention, not just as the one revealed, but as the one chosen. And Cho Eun-woo stood by her, his arm around her shoulders, his voice soft yet firm, "This is Ko-young." The moment wasn't just about naming someone, it was about standing for someone. In the days that followed the reveal, interviews touched on the subject with polite curiosity rather than scandal. Cho Eun-woo said, "I'm happy. I found someone who understands this life and me." Moon Ko-young smiled and added, "We are working this together." Kim Do-yeon offered a gracious statement, "I wish them well." It was mature, respectful, no theatrics, no blame. A simple acknowledgement that sometimes paths diverge, and when they do, choosing kindness matters. But of course, the media world had its angles. Headlines flashed, "Finally! Cho Eun-woo reveals Moon Ko-young," and "Kim Do-yeon suspected but not confirmed." Yet beneath the sensationalism there was something quieter and steadier, two people opting for sincerity over speculation, partnership over performance. Because in show business, announcements are often manufactured, here, it felt lived in. And therein lies the beauty. In the defiance of expectation, not just for Cho Eun-woo and Moon Ko-young, but for anyone watching, there is possibility. The possibility that when you live under constant observation, you still get to choose. You still get to protect your truth. You still get to say, "This is my person." And to mean it. The revelation wasn't a climax, it was a beginning. Imagine them walking through an abandoned studio corridor after hours, the echoes of microphone stands and empty chairs around them, his jacket around her shoulders. Imagine the quiet word between them, "Ready?" She nodded. He squeezed her hand. Their reflection in a darkened window looked back at them, two silhouettes, calm, aligned. And it struck them, this is us, the fans. Some were unhappy, some supportive. But the narrative settled into something more human. Fan letters poured in, heartfelt, raw, as if the revelation gave space for authenticity. Some said, "I've loved you forever, but if you found the one, I'd be happy for you." Others asked, "Will you still act together?" The answer, yes, with each other, if schedules align. The team around them, managers, stylists, directors, watched the transition, from private acquaintances to publicly declared partners. They commented quietly about how adult it was, no scandal, no forced drama, just truth. At the next promotion of his new drama, Cho Eun-woo gave up his usual guest seat to Moon Ko-young. She accepted. And the cameras caught the ease of it. No flashbulbs needing to freeze a moment of surprise, they just did it. Not all relationships thrive under the glare. Some bend, some break. But their first week as a publicly acknowledged couple. A breeze. She